Hello, welcome back to another 40K video. This one's going to be a little bit different because it's Thanksgiving week and got a lot of stuff between work and family. So do a little bit of, a smaller effort video this week for you guys, but I hope you still enjoy. So what I'm going to be talking about is a controversy floating around the 40K community, and the controversy is about female space marines. This is going to be a fun one. All right, so what is this controversy? Well, it's a dumb one, to be honest. It's a really dumb controversy that for some reason people won't shut up about. And some people were like, well, why isn't there female space marines? Well, let's go back to the 80s and 90s when Games Workshop was becoming more and more popular. You see, I know it's hard for a lot of younger people to believe, but back in the day, nerdy stuff like comics, video games, D&D, and Warhammer, and anything else related to nerd culture was mostly male. Like the majority of the demographics back then were boys and men. That was it. That's basically it. So when Games Workshop was creating 40K, obviously they decided to go with the main demographic to get more sales, and that was to appeal to boys and men. And what's going to appeal to them? Well, other men, specifically Space Marines, they're all men because manly. And obviously this worked because they are $1 billion company now. Now, could they add female space marines now? Technically yes, but they shouldn't for a few reasons. The first one, the lore. The lore is something a lot of people like to cite in this argument because they'll be like, oh, there's 2 missing legions. They could be all female, or gosh, I can't remember. Not Mortarion. Wasn't I'll have to double check. Said he wanted all the Primarchs to be women, but instead they were all men. But, the Emperor was like, long game, they're all going to be guys, reasons. And then they also forget about the gene seed, the thing that turns a regular person into a space marine. See, the gene seeds come from the Primarchs, who are all male, and it's kind of hard to take genetics that are meant for men and apply them to someone of the opposite sex. That's just genetics and the science of that universe. I mean, I said this in my introduction to Space Marines video, but it took 10,000 years for them to do a small upgrade to the Space Marines. So imagine having to do the same thing, but for, the opposite sex, which has different chromosomes, different kinds of DNA, different kinds of organs. You see where the logistics of that universe don't really apply. Because probably by the time they could figure it out, probably another 10,000, 20,000, hell, with the way that universe is, probably 50,000, or everyone's already dead. So, sorry. Another thing is this. Even today, while more women are enjoying the hobby of 40K, it's still mostly male. Now, do those women want representation on the tabletop? Of course, they should get it. And guess what? They have plenty of it. They have the Eldar. They have the Imperial Guard, because all the, if half the human race is, female, well, guess what? So is half of the Imperial Guard. You get the Eldar, all forms from the Craft Worlds, Harlequins, and the Drukhari. They have plenty of female characters. The Tau have female characters. Hell, some of the Tau have female models that are captains. And then not to mention, again, Sisters of Battle, who is one of my personal favorite armies that I have. They're all female, so you got representation there. And not to mention, the act of making female Space Marines is kind of redundant in the simple fact that Space Marines are post-human. They're no longer human, and they don't reproduce because they cannot. They are genderless. So in fact, by saying we need female Space Marines, you are actually hurting your own kind of wokeness arguments, because their Space Marines are genderless. They have no gender. They cannot reproduce. So by saying there need to be gendered Space Marine females, I'm sorry, but that argument becomes redundant when you actually get into it. And it also becomes even more redundant when you actually get into the models themselves, because again, there's plenty of female representation on the tabletop. Now, there is another thing I want to quickly tackle, is there is people that do take the time to put female heads on their models and all that stuff. And there's actually a really cool YouTube video. I'll have to track it down and put it in the description, where it actually shows someone taking the time to kit bash Stormcast female models to make them look like Space Marine models. And it's actually pretty cool to look at. But I'm just gonna say this: if you paid the money for your models, you can do whatever you want with them. And to all the people that say, no, don't do that, ignore them, because they are the toxic people and they are the gatekeepers. Now, gatekeeping and toxicity is always bad in my opinion. People should be able to enjoy whatever hobby or interest they want, unless it involves hurting other people. Then no, you cannot hurt other people. Well, I guess you can't hurt other people without their consent. But anyway, so if you do decide to get Space Marines and you do take the time to make them look female, whether from kit bashing other models or paying extra money to a third party to get female heads to glue onto your Space Marines, good for you. I don't personally, I don't care, because that's your money, that's your hobby, that's all you. And don't let those few gatekeeping toxic people ruin it for you, because in the end, they're really just a small amount of this community, so you don't need to worry about it. Yeah, this whole controversy thing is really stupid. It's just bred from people not understanding the lore or the logistics of business, and not, because again, a business is going to make products for their demographics. So that's just how it is. And they don't seem to understand that kind of thing. They don't understand the people in the hobby. So, that's why this controversy is so stupid. So just ignore the controversy, just have fun with your models if you're into the models, enjoy the lore if you're into the lore, but don't ask for big changes, especially if you don't understand everything in the lore, because there is a lot of lore. A lot of it canon, a lot of it not, but that's a whole nother discussion for another video that I can easily make into another 10 minutes. So with that said, stay safe, happy Thanksgiving, and let the Emperor's light protect.